Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. You may have seen the inside of this car before, not once but not twice. This will be the third time. This is the Lamborghini Hurracan LP610 for 2015. But this time with the engine swap. This has the Bugatti Chiron engine swap, a cool price of 1.6 million credits. The question is, can we find out if it's worth getting the engine swap to grind at Tokyo 600? You've already paid for the car. You've already got a car that is seriously capable of whacking in some really fantastic time. What's it going to be like with the engine swap? So what we've got to try and do is we've got to shoehorn this engine in. We've got to try and get possibly a similar setup as we possibly can, or at least a setup that's trying to give us the advantage and make it worthwhile for the engine swap. So to pay for this engine swap, we've had to get to level 50, and we've also had to either be very, very lucky to get it as a ticket, or we've had to grind a further, let's say we don't get the clean race bonus, so it's absolutely critical. We've had to get complete four races more to actually afford the 1.6 million credits. But without any further ado, let's go into the settings and have a look. We're in at 599.98 pp with 758 brake horsepower. We're on comfort softs, and if you remember, we're on comfort hards in the previous setup. We're on some normal suspension, which is absolutely fine. Fully customizable differential at everything standard, 50-50 on the torque split. Downforce on the front is everything. Downforce on the rear is everything. We're on ECU fully customizable down to 70%. Ballast at 126 all the way to the front. And the power restrictor is also set to 70%. As you can see here, the power is pretty linear all the way through. The torque really is there in the early part of the engine. As you can see there on the white line, it's there up to about 2,000 RPM, and then it's trailing off all the way. So it could be a short shifter, this one, or you could actually just power it through and see where it goes. Just fully customizable gearbox set to manual at 450. Nothing's been changed. It's a 7-speed box. Normal turbocharger, normal intercooler, normal silencer, racing slotted racing slotted brake system with racing brake pads. We've got the brake controller, we're going to put that to 3 at the front. We've got the racing clutch and flywheel, the carbon prop shaft, and the increased body rigidity. Now I say, at the start, we've put this on to try and make this even, but, you know, we had a little bit of a play. We've tried to make it better. We've tried to make it worthwhile. As you can see there, the engine model, the 8.0 WR16 64 valve 40 Chiron engine. Let's get down to the body shop. If we go into the car and maintenance section, you can see the engine swap is installed down the bottom. It's 1.6 million credits. The oil change is actually cheaper by 50 credits than it is on the standard car. So there's a reason to do it. Wheels, we're on customized wheels here over on the right hand side. We're on the OZ Super Forgiata, and we've set them as 20s. And we're wide all round. You can see that just is a little bit of a tickle wide. See it on the front arches. A little bit of poke and standard offset. Custom parts on the front, it's type A. On the side, type A. Nothing on the rear, and on the wing, custom wing set high type 20, as you'd always expect. There is absolutely no different in body setup, racing setup than the previous car. Roll cage, nothing, and there's no front grille. It's get to the race. Here we are at the World Tour. It is. Here we are at the World Touring Car 600 at the Tokyo Expressway, east clockwise for 12 laps. Settings will be assist, traction control 1, ABS default, everything else off except counter steer assistance, which is on strong. And then the controller settings are force feedback max torque 7, force feedback sensitivity 10. I'm on a Fanatec DD Plus with the GT Extreme wheel. I'm getting my words wrong today. Right, so here we are. We've got a car that meets the PP requirement. It is engine swapped. And if you remember the race previously, well, it was actually yesterday's video, but ultimately the idea is to compare it to see if it's worth getting the engine swap for this race only. More powerful races, it's going to be more than likely well worth it, and we'll get to them and we'll see how it goes. The more PP available, the more chance you've got of making this quick. So let's get stuck in. So immediately we're going to look to fuel map. We're going to put that to 3. We're hoping and praying that we're going to have enough fuel to do 6 laps. We're going to have to see where it goes. No real practice on this. We've had a couple of laps just to see where it is. You can see the car's got 31 miles on it. So it's not done a massive amount. Fuel is at 4.5 and it's just going up. We're probably equal to where the previous car was. We're going to brake a little bit earlier because this car has got weaker tyres. And we're in there with Mr. Suswillow. But he's not as far up as he was. We're definitely going to have to change tyres at the halfway point. Into 5th gear, the gearing doesn't feel quite as assured as in the previous car. 5.6 on the fuel, we're good at this point, aren't we? It feels it. 6th gear. I'll try and assure the clean race bonus. We've just clipped a curb there, ever so marginally. It's going to back out of this just a little bit. We know this car's got the pace to get the win. We know that. Just by the way we're keeping up with the AI. And we know we're not powering on. So because we're backing off, we're going to pop the fuel map up to fuel map 2. Because we're coasting a little bit. We've got a spare lap. Oh, that's just a tiny brush. Then we're going to brake on the 200 down here. This car will be quick when it gets down the straight. And watch the fuel disappear. We're going to put it back to fuel map 3. When we get on the straight, this is just going to absolutely sup the fuel. Nicely round the corner. The 4-wheel drive helping us tremendously. Now as we go over the line, we want it to show 5 laps. .4. We might have timed this absolutely spot on. Into 7th gear. 5.2, 5.1. There we go. Fuel is spot on. We're just about to take Suswillow. 3.8 seconds from Mr. Gallo at the front. We're going 199, 200 at this point. So we're blasting past where the previous car was. Going to brake on the 225. Mr. Suswillow diving in on our right. We're still carrying speed. Oh, we've clipped the wall. We needed to keep on the brakes a little bit harder earlier on. We're hoping this car is going to be a 207 car. Needs to be faster than standard version. Probably could have been. 5th gear instead of 6, down to 3rd. No, we're going to keep it in 4th. Let the car do what it wants to do. 4.8 on the fuel. It needs to be 4 when we get round to the start finish. Mr. Suswillow getting past us. Braking on the 200. .6, which is where we need to be at 4.1 when we cross the line. Do we think we're going to be able to catch these guys? So our outlap was a 220.3. In the previous car it was a 220.2. Oh my. 207.893 to beat on the fastest lap. This is a 209. So a little bit slower. We're going to be faster down the straight. Fuel is spot on. Tyres are looking a little bit ropey. Going to brake just after that puddle. If we get the car into the corner. Didn't mean to clip that curb. Tyres are okay. Now we've probably really underpowered the car by changing the fuel map. We've got to have it where it is to meet the fuel requirements to get the laps out of the car. As our fuel weight drops off, we're going to get faster. Could get more traction with a little bit less weight, as Suswillow dispatched. Braking on the 200. Slightly overshot. They were carrying a little bit more speed than we were last time. We've got to be really sharp on braking on the 200. Right, chasing down Gallo now. A little bit slower. 3.4 on the fuel. Tyres aren't looking bad. We're at the halfway stage for this stint. Should probably short shift to get the better power out the car. We're catching Mr. Gallo now. 205 mile an hour. And a brake just after the wet patch. The brakes hard there to try and cop the star and stop the car sliding through. Cop the star, what am I saying? Pretty much on a par where we were with Gallo in the last car. It's the first major hit of the race, which comes because the tyre wear is depleting. Just outside the lap. Mr. Suswillow has the fastest lap of the race. Just inside a 209, a 209.019. On the 200. Want to see if we can get in the draft of Mr. Gallo now. Nice and early. Doesn't look like we're going to get it mega early. Almost a second down, so this is going to be a 210. Currently the faster car is the LP610 415 standard. This car hasn't really managed to show its true guts with all this extra power. There's a 210.6. We were lolling in the 208s in the previous car. Here we go, we're in the slipstream now. Gallo is pitting at the end of this lap. 206, 207. Will we get to 210? I don't think so. Braking from so long way out that getting the car to turn, all that extra downforce we need to get the car to turn in is a real tricky one. So I have to give a massive shout out to Mr. Ridley again for his involvement in the setups. If it wasn't for Mr. Ridley, it would take me a lot longer to get there, but he does allow start to get into tune with what I'm trying to do. Simple setups, no major changes. These cars are very, very drivable, and Mr. Ridley, power to his elbow, has started to, I don't mean he started to understand that, he's starting to produce the setups the way I like to drive them, and then it takes a little while to do, to get to know a driver and how he likes to drive a car, and then set a car up effectively is part of the trick. So it's alright going to set a car up for power, then you put it on the track and you can't drive it is particularly difficult. So we're expecting Gallo to go to the pits very shortly. We're going to do one more lap. We've got good fuel. The brake on the 200. Get it in second, roll it round. We'll try and keep it in second and not use first gear. The short shift was a little bit quicker there, wasn't it? We're not going to get Gallo's slipstream because he's going to make the pits before we get there. 1.4 laps of fuel as we go through the line. Now we're off to try and build up that gap to the cars behind. We've got the fuel. It's all good. 8.6 seconds ahead of Cookerman. Look at that. We're probably 3 or 4 mile an hour down without that slipstream. But look at that. 0.8 of a second up. We're not going to get the opportunity to beat the fastest lap this time because we're pitting on this lap. We are going to short shift a little bit, try and get the car moving that bit more with the better torque at the lower part of the rev range. Go. Interesting to see the next timing split. See where it puts us. See if this is the way to drive the car in free traffic. After the next pit stop, we're 9 seconds ahead, improving on our personal lap time. We're going to focus on that next time round. Mr. Ridley has also provided me with a certain few more setups and car ideas to go with. He's doing a tremendous job, so thank you very much, sir. It's really appreciated. And whilst I'm still off colour and not being 100%, it is really helping me progress and get a video every day, so... Oh my. Into the pits then we go, 8.5 seconds ahead. We've got the fuel, we're changing tyres, comfort softs. And as we dive in, we've actually got half a lap of fuel. Comfort softs, we're going to take the fuel. See the diamond there all the way to the right on the F. So current impressions are that the car isn't actually as good with the engine swap on the way we've set it up. The lower PP restriction is really, really difficult to achieve. 0.1 there we go, it should be fine. We're going to short shift out. There's Gallo, there's the man we're chasing down. We have to legitimately stay with him. We have to catch him before the end of lap 9. Make sure we're with him as he goes to the pits. Gonna brake on the 200. We really will try and get the lap time down on this stint. We've got nobody in the way, no traffic. It's got so much power, this car. Even on fuel map 3, you can just feel the way it wants to surge forwards. The grip is so poor on these softs that maybe we could have really chopped the power down some more with the engine swap. But what would have been the difference? What would we have achieved? Same car with an engine swap, 1.6 million credits later. The idea here was to try and give the car a bit of a drive and a bit of a feel of something really quite special. The Chiron engine is really something special to behold. The Bugatti car itself, so powerful, and to put that into this vehicle, we had to try and preserve some of that power. Didn't get a lot, 100 horsepower more. So Cookerman's gone in. Suswillow, where is he? Suswillow must be behind us. Let's see if we can get into the 200s again. Yes, Suswillow, not near the front of Tuttle, is he? Must be in 9th place. He's had a bad race. We're to second, just 1.4 seconds back, and we're gaining. We're going to get into the slipstream just at the critical point, just before the splash. The track is drying out now. Let's see if we can really put Gallo under pressure. Suswillow's in 4th there, look. I didn't see him, did I? Let the car coast a little bit round these corners. It will do so much better than on the brakes. Tyres already look like they've taken a savage beating. Now we're with Gallo. Got to be so much more precise with this car. Half a lap up on our best time. Just backed out a little bit there, just to get the car to turn. Braking on the 200, but we're going to be that little bit quicker because we've had the draft here off Gallo. Less weight in that car, more sprightly on the softer tyres, softer, better tyres. Right, is this going to be a better lap for us? Is this going to be somewhat comparable to the standard car? Into 7th. Try and squeeze up the inside. There we go. There's a 209.230, fastest lap of the race. We've got to chop over a second off. We've got to find a way to do that, and it's got to be in the next couple of laps. 200 mile an hour as we rise out of the tunnel section. Where are we going to find? I've probably braked way too late at this point. We managed to avoid the wall. We were trying to be quicker. Purple's good. We are racing Sus Willow for the fastest lap. We've got to find a 10th and a bit. Pulling away from Gallo, we thought we were going to succumb to the pressure again, but as it is, we're still purple. We'll keep it in 4th. Power on, get the car to turn. See where we go. On the power, let's go, come on. Let's chase. Oh, we're just backdropped outside. We're 0.368 quicker, so that would be a 208. Why is it dropped to blue, not purple? There's the 8, fastest lap of the race. 208.823. We're really hoping for a 7, but it's not going to be there. Already I don't think we're going to beat a 26.32. I think we're going to struggle. Where are we in relation to? Gallo's stopped in the pits already, so we're 14 seconds ahead of Cookabun. Our next challenge at this point is to see how close we can get to Gentry. That's the real benchmark, isn't it? Tyres are taking a bit more of a beating this time round on the drier track. We're into the reds, the purples again. Just waiting on the throttle to get the car turned. Stop on the 200. Because we were pushing Gallo. Do we think Gallo is going to get the opportunity to come back and challenge Sus Willow and Cookabun? We lost time there, didn't we? It's be 209 again. 2 more laps to go. Front tyres look like they're feeling the pinch. 209.1. It's our second fastest lap. 16 seconds in the lead. Where is Gentry? We've got 2 laps to catch him. I've got a feeling we've got a chance. Quarter of a second down, just concentrating, just focusing on the line. Clipped it again there, just the width of the car defeating me. So we're about 65% tyre wear with 1 lap to go. 20 seconds ahead of Cookabun. We're looking for the opportunity to lap Mr. Gentry. Short shifting up to 3rd gear seems fine. Let the car rev up to the gear indicator and then change. That gives us a short shift onto the last lap. That was a 2:09.4, with the tyre wear seriously affecting our capability. I think we needed to try and get a setup with the same sort of tyres. You can hear the tyres gripping, squealing at us, saying no more. 21 seconds in the lead. Doesn't feel like a tremendous amount. Not going to catch the entry, I don't think. There he is. Do we think we could catch him by the line? That's the challenge. We need the speed. Fastest lap of the race looks like it's ours. Gentry's just rolling around the corner. There he is. What is our chance of lapping him? Generally not a lot of chance, I don't think. Even if we turn the fuel map up and burn all that fuel, he's going to beat us to the line. But it's still a decent victory. 2:08 or a 2:09 on the last lap. Unclear, but there she is. She's a winner. Lamborghini Hurracan. LP610 415. Chiron engine swap is good enough to win this race. 26.42, so 10 seconds slower than the standard car. It doesn't lap any other vehicles, but it does get the fastest lap of the race. A 2:08.823 on lap 9. Again, around about a second slower than the standard car. So, is it worth it? There you go. 825,000 credits, not 35 as I say it is. 825,000 credits with the engine swap when we didn't get it with the standard car. It's only one race away and we've paid for the engine swap. Do that twice, the grind is worth it. You'll earn more money with this car. It's easier to drive it more casually in the first part of the race to enable you to get through the problems. We had bumps and crashes, we tapped curbs, we tapped another car, but in this case we were more controlled in the earlier part of the race. And there you have it, folks. The LP610 4 engine swap ticks all the boxes. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye for now.